Well, I think one needs to look at VAT and income tax separately. It seems to us that the whole focus of everybody's attention, the software industry, businesses, agents, has shifted from income tax, which we all expected to come along first, to VAT, because we now have really quite a short time before MTD for income tax comes in. Sorry, MTD for VAT comes in April 2019. So at the moment, for VAT, we have, I understand, just a very small number of software providers who are in the Control Go Live pilot, and it's by invitation only. And it's the very simplest VAT businesses. So we're still essentially at a very early stage. Obviously, the sooner that HMRC can move to public beta and they can start publishing a list of all the software options on their website, the sooner businesses and agents will be able to start to progress. Income tax is obviously going to happen on a much slower trajectory. There are, we understand, far fewer software providers who are actually exploring providing MTD for income tax pilots, and obviously we still need a ministerial decision before MTD for income tax becomes mandatory. So there's a little more uncertainty in that area. And although that pilot has been going with some providers since April 2017, there's still really very, very small numbers. So we're still in early days. On the details, I think what we're all waiting for is the MTD for VAT notice. We have the primary legislation for both VAT and income tax. We have the secondary legislation for VAT is now on the statute book. But the detail is all in the notice, and that's really what we're waiting for. One of the main questions which our members are asking is, they're asking, where is the software that we can try it out? We want a list of all the software options so that we can go through a proper procurement process to choose the best products for us and for our clients. That is quite difficult for people to do, particularly agents who perhaps don't already have a link to a software provider. So I think what we're saying is for agents is the priority has obviously to be on the clients that are going to be in scope from April 2019. But in the meantime, we would recommend that they consider moving clients across to digital accounting records for all the right reasons, for good business reasons. Even if they don't put them in the pilot, now is the time to talk to them about their banking arrangements, bank feeds, start them on a slow, gradual journey, perhaps, to keeping their electronic accounting records. And then if they do that, when MTD comes along, it will just be really a bit of an add-on at the end. The hard part is getting them to digital accounting records. But if you can persuade them, if you can put quarterly reporting for income tax to one side, then you can persuade them that it will give them better business information, and they will start to be able to make use of a whole lot much better management information and run their business in a much more efficient way, then it's going to be much more saleable, and the tax just becomes a bit of an add-on at the end. But we do need the detail on MTD for that. We do need that notice to know exactly what HMRC wants. And I think even when it comes to income tax, I think there's even more uncertainty about the detail, and we do need HMRC to give us a lot more detail. Because at the moment we are working with really very simple cases. The only businesses that can enter the MTD for income tax pilot at the moment are people with a single self-employment and no other income at all. And for VAT, again, it has to be an extremely simple business, because there are spreadsheets do come up over and over again, and it's not necessarily the small businesses that are expressing an agent or expressing the wish to do spreadsheets, although some of them certainly are. It is mostly it's larger businesses who perhaps are using a range of legacy systems within a group, or who have complexities such as partial exemption calculations, or they're on one of the various VAT margin schemes. it's not immediately clear that there are going to be software products on the market that they can just take off the shelf and use. So I think there are going to be a lot of businesses who are going to need to use spreadsheets simply as probably in conjunction with, Sage or some other software product. But it is, they won't just be able to only use that software product because there is complexity or a number of different systems and processes that need to be gone through before they can actually submit their return. I think the first thing they do is simply to make them aware of it. I mean, it's likely that most of the people at Cantex today are aware. Though we have had people asking us really some quite straightforward questions. I'm quite surprised. But all the research that a number of people have done indicates that the level of awareness is simply not there. So I think it's a matter of raising awareness. It doesn't necessarily need to have an MTD flag on it. It can be simply, let us show you the benefits of moving to digital accounting records. Tell them MTD is coming, but sell it as if you make this move now, it will, you will have it will make your life much easier. You won't have to be scrabbling around for pieces of paper come 31st of January or a VAT deadline. You can make life much simpler and simply sell it in that way, and then as an add-on, and then that means you'll be ready for MTD, however that eventually turns out to be. I would like to have seen much better consultation right at the outset from HMRC. When we got the consultation documents, they were very delayed, but we eventually got them in August 2016. It was effectively at the second stage of consultation. HMRC had already made a decision as to the overall framework and how they were going to go. I think there should have been much greater consultation both with the accounting profession and with software providers before they ever went to consultation. Set out the objectives. We want a digitalized system. What is the best way of getting that? And that is part of the reason why HMRC has had to shift in terms of the timetable. If they had done that first, even with political upheavals, they might not have needed to shift the timetable. The other thing I think they need to do is to make it much more of a tripartite HMRC accounting professional software relationship, because there is a certain amount of the software providers talk to the technical part of HMRC. We as accounting profession end up talking to the policy people, and I think that needs to be much closer. I think that would have helped.